Are you like millions of others who made a New Year's resolution to lose weight, but here we are rolling into summer and it all fell apart? I mean, we all know those fall apart within 2 weeks and you're still struggling, if you are struggling with emotional eating, binge eating, yo-yo dieting, sugar addiction. Wow, I know how addictive sugar is. But here's the point, here's the fact. We're rolling into summer now, and do you want to reach your goal weight before the end of the year? Or do you want to end up at the end of the year and you're still struggling, you're still overweight, you're still unhappy with yourself because you haven't been able to get this one area of your life together? If this is you, and if you have 60 or less pounds, which will get you to your goal weight, and I'll explain why it's got to be 60 or less in today's podcast. But if this is you, then stick around because I have more to share with you. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 606. The topic, how to reach your goal weight before 2025. All right, super. If this is your first time tuning in to the JoLynn Braley Show, I am JoLynn Braley. I am the permanent weight loss coach who founded the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the diet that you need if you are serious about losing weight once and for all. Now, the name might sound kind of funny because who wants to lose weight on the inside, right? You want to lose weight so that you can look great in your jeans, and that weight is on the outside of your body. Well, here's the thing. You might not be aware, but there is a universal law that all of us live under, and that universal law is the inner and the outer always match. The inner and the outer always match. Have you ever heard that most people who are poor, when they win the lottery, they all end up losing it? You know why? Because they were poor on the inside and they never changed on the inside. All they did was get more money, and the inner and the outer always match. All right, so why am I talking about this when you want to lose weight? Well, if you want to get thin on the outside and you want to stay thin, you want to look your best. You don't want to keep doing this back and forth thing, and you don't want to keep struggling with your out of control eating. You want to lose weight once and for all and be normal with food. Well, if that's what you want, you have to get thin on the inside. The inner and the outer always match. If you change your mind, you can change your body, and that is my specialty. This is the work that I've been doing with my awesome coaching clients since 2009. I have never seen it fail as long as you do the steps. You've got to follow the steps. You have to do the work. Before we get done with today's free weight loss podcast, I'll share with you how I might be able to help you and your food and weight struggles in 8 weeks or less. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to reach your goal weight before 2025. And before I forget, if you do want to learn just a little bit more in one of my free downloads about this topic of matching up your mind to match the body that you want, this topic of making weight loss struggle-free, making weight loss simple, making weight loss fun, believe it or not. And when you're really in the struggle, I know that it sounds impossible that it could ever be fun, but it's all about an inner shift. That is 92.8% of it. And no food diet can give this to you. So if you want to learn just a little bit more, go over to easyfunweightloss.com, download my free cheat sheet, and you can get that right away. It's like a 2-minute read. It'll be really simple, really easy to read through that. I put 10 points together that you need to have all ready to go. And, you have to have them if you want to succeed in this process, or if you want to succeed in your goal of losing weight once and for all. You can get that at easyfunweightloss.com. So how can you reach your goal weight before 2025? All right, first of all, you're only going to be able to reach your goal weight before 2025 if you have 60 pounds or less to lose. And it depends on when you are listening to this episode right now. This episode number 606 of the JoLynn Braley Show, is the May 30th episode of the show. So as of this time on the calendar, there is enough time on the calendar to release 60 pounds before 2025. Being very healthy about it, being very sane about it, being very realistic about it. If you can release 2 pounds of fat per week, then there is enough time to do that. But, of course, if you're listening to this free weight loss podcast in August or September, then you're going to have to adjust the math, because I don't advocate crazy, weird weight loss. The body needs time to release the fat. And this is a big problem, because if you don't have the right mindset, if you haven't gotten 92.8% of the solution, which no food diet can give to you, if you don't have your head in the right place, then you're going to be extremely impatient, and all you're going to care about is getting to your goal weight. And there's all kinds of things out there now that can help you just lose weight at the expense of your health. So, it depends on how much value do you place on your health. There are people out there who have said wisely in the past that if you have your health, you have everything. In my opinion, it's not worth damaging your health just to lose weight. You can lose weight in a sane, natural, healthy manner, and it doesn't have to feel like a big old difficult struggle if you change your mindset, which includes healing your emotional relationship and your mental relationship with food. You have to address that, because how did you get 60 pounds on your body in the first place? How did that happen? What was driving your overeating? What were you using food for? That has to be addressed, because that's how you got to where you are. Does that make sense? Food diets don't do this for you. And none of the crazy fixes, shots, pills, whatever, they don't address any of that. Neither does weight loss surgery. That's why the majority who do those things, they gain all the weight back. But then at what cost to your health later? I think it's pretty scary. But maybe that's just me. So anyway, if you have 60 pounds or less to lose and you are listening to episode 606 soon after or right after it was published, like I said, this is the May 30th episode, then you've got time, all right? So then how are you going to do this? Well, let's go through 3 steps that you have to take in order to reach your goal weight before 2025. All right? The first step is you have to make a decision. No food diet talks about this, does it? Food diets are instructions for how to eat in a different way to lose weight. And that's great. That's 7.2% of the solution. And if you have the right mindset and you have a healthy eating plan, then all you need to do is follow it. And you have to get started right now. There is no time to waste. No more of this waiting until Monday, or waiting until after the vacation, or waiting until after. Before you know it, 2025 is going to be here. And this is part of the mindset problem right here. You have to have the right mindset to stop procrastinating. You have to be willing to let go of your food crutch if you really want to lose the weight. So you have to get started now. But first, you have to make the decision. You have to make the decision. Number one step is you have to make the decision and you have to make the commitment to yourself. And then number two step, you've got to get started right now. All right, just to be clear, make the decision, number one, which includes committing fully to yourself. By the way, if you are committed, you will do whatever it takes. If you're only interested, you'll do what's convenient. And then you're not going to reach your goal weight before the end of the year because it's more convenient to eat. And I mean eat processed food, eat the stuff that won't get the weight off. How do I know? Because I've been there. I know what it's all about. All right? Number one, you have to decide, and there's no way to get out of the decision. If you tell yourself you'll decide later, you have now decided not to take action. You've decided to continue to put yourself off. You've decided that you're not worth it, literally. That's what that means. Because if you were worth it, you would decide right now that now is the time to get in gear. And then the number two step is you've got to take action. All right? And you've got to take action, healthy action, which includes cooking, prepping your meals, portioning them out, all that stuff, exercise, but also it includes the steps that you must take every single day to get and keep your head in the right place, because it is your head that will take you off track faster than anything else. It only takes 3 days to clean the food addiction out of your physical system. All of those chemicals that are in processed food, sugar, high sodium, additives, enhanced taste ingredients, all kinds of things. It's a business, okay? They don't care that you're fat. They don't care that you're miserable. They just want you to keep eating more and more and more and buying more of their food. You have to be the one who is looking out for yourself. And if you really want to lose weight and keep it off, the easiest and fastest way is to eat clean. If you want to see what I mean about eating clean, go to grabmygrocerylist.com and you can download my complete, regular, basic grocery list that I depend on, and that's how I lost over 28 pounds. Grabmygrocerylist.com. Go get that now. Okay, so you have to get in action mode. You have to take action for your mind and your body. And the number 3 step is, it's the same thing that the shampoo bottles say. If they still say this, do they still say rinse and repeat? Lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. That's what you have to do to lose this weight and get to your goal weight before the end of the year. So it's repetition, it's consistency. You just keep repeating meal after meal, day after day, on and on and on. You have to keep repeating the healthy actions for your mind and your body, because weight loss only occurs over time. You are not going to get instant weight loss unless you get, in a car accident and you lose your leg. And nobody wants that. I mean, that's just another crazy town way of losing weight, right? That's just silly. Weight loss takes time. If you drop 2 pounds of fat per week, you are doing fantastic. But it requires consistency, repetition, patience, and guess what? You've got to have the right mindset to do all of this. You can't do it in a day. You can't be impatient about it. There's a lot that goes into this. And if you have been struggling a lifetime with your eating and your weight, this is why. Have you ever gotten the right mindset? You know what I mean, Jean? you have to heal your relationship with food, heal the relationship with yourself, forgive yourself for all the years that you might feel like you wasted because you could have gotten to your goal weight how many years ago? You could have already done it, especially if you already know exactly how you should be eating and you're not doing it. You keep sabotaging yourself. Well, this is also part of the mindset problem. This is what I help my coaching clients with in the inner self diet. This is the deep inner work that you need if you want to stop fighting yourself, if you want to stop getting in your own way, if you already know what you could be doing to lose weight in a healthy way, and you just can't seem to do it. You know, some people say they're not motivated, but it's more than that. You have to have the right mindset for it. That is 92.8% of it. Does that make any sense at all? Because if that were not the case, who would be overweight? All you have to do is follow a healthy eating plan. What would be the big deal? You know what I mean? So it's not about intelligence. It's not about logic. You can't logically get your way out of this. It is an emotional thing, but it's also a self-esteem thing. It's also a self-worth thing. It's also a belief thing. There's a lot that goes into this complicated problem. Otherwise, like I said, hey, just follow a healthy eating plan. Like Nike says, just do it. Why aren't you just doing it? Because you haven't healed your inner self. You haven't become a match on the inside to what you want on the outside. So those are the 3 steps that you need to implement immediately if you want to reach your goal weight before 2025, if you have 60 pounds or less to lose. Again, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, you got to do the math. You have to have time you have to have time on the calendar to release 2 pounds of fat per week, right? So number 1, you've got to make a decision, which includes making a commitment to yourself. Number 2, you've got to get in action immediately because there's no time to waste. Number 3, lather, rinse, repeat. You have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Every meal, every day, step by step, and not just the physical steps, but especially you have to have time built into your day every day to change your mindset. You have to heal your relationship with food. You've got to get your head in the right place. And you know what's interesting? You can get a weight loss mindset so much faster than you can get to your goal weight. And that's good because you need the mindset so that you can stick with it and get all the way to your goal weight. If you want help with this, if you'd love to stop struggling with your eating and your weight, if you'd love to stop emotional eating, stop binge eating, stop yo-yo dieting, if it makes sense to you that this is not as much of a food problem as it is an emotional problem, it's also a mindset problem. It's a much bigger problem than just food. Because if it wasn't, all you'd have to do is just change what you're eating and just do that, right? If you want help to make a fundamental, holistic change so that you can finally lose weight and feel great about it, look your best, and keep that weight off, head on over to www.discovery-session.com. Complete an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. That's your first step to stepping out of the struggle and stepping into the freedom where you can finally be normal with food, live a healthy lifestyle, and get that weight off. www.discovery-session.com. I am JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that you desperately need if you really are serious about losing weight once and for all. And if you want to look your best in your jeans and stay in that size of jeans, you know, how cool would that be?